What's good? Matt Clark here at the new Matt Clark. How are each and every one of you doing this amazing Tuesday? I'm doing great. My girl's doing great. My family's doing great. Hope each and every one of you are doing great. And I hope you're having an amazing week. I hope that you're enjoying the new pretty good weather. It's been pretty nice. And, you know, uh, it's been a minute since I've seen you. Life's been good for me. I've been enjoying my job very much, and I feel like just recently, uh, I feel like across the board, I'm in a good place, and I came to chop it up with you guys. So, what are you guys saying today? How's life going? What do you guys want to talk about? What's up, Eric? What's up, Kev? Just a girl in Canada. What's up? Your niece is in Ottawa, Carlton. Be all right. In most cases, you'll be all right. You know, most people who go to jail aren't just out of the blue going into that life. So, Carla McDonald, what's going on? How are you? And we'll wait for some people to come in here. We'll pick some topics, whatever you guys want to talk about, and we'll chop it up. Blanche, what's up? I did watch the game last night. I enjoyed it very much. Go Leafs, go! I thought it was a high intensity game. Uh, I didn't love some of the goals on Wall, but to be fair, you know, coming into a game cold in an environment like that, I didn't love the hit from Bennett, but I also don't think it's like the grimiest shit I ever saw. I think the slap shot in the head probably did more damage than a little boop, but it was a boop. And if you're gonna run the league like there's no hits to the head, you know, I don't complain about officiating most of the time, you know. But I love the fact that they're skating hard and they're forechecking well and they're not getting pushed around. So we'll see how it goes though. Florida's legit, you know. They are the top of the pack, you know, so we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Steve, what's up? Shout out to Muskoka. Kev Edwards, hopefully everything's good with you, bro. Everything's good with me. You know, not a whole lot, just chilling. Newfoundland, shout out to Newfoundland. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I appreciate that you love the content. But you know, what do you guys want to talk about? What do you think is a good topic to at least get this live going? Here, there's 11. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate that very much. Gaming primate. What's up? I can't tell you. You know, I get into that a lot typically, but the world is it's out of here, bud. And I'm not sure it's coming back, you know. I'm not sure there's any solution to what's been unleashed. And I blame the internet. I really do. I guess you could still consider it a new job. I don't know, but I guess, you know, but it's great. You know, I got a little bit of a raise, which was great. I don't know. I enjoy it. I've lost a bunch of weight. It's getting me in physically the best shape of my life, and I just appreciate the job. You know, it keeps me active and busy. And although it's hard work, I've adjusted to that, and I enjoy it. What's up, Matt? When you were in the pen, did you see any white supremacists? Well, yeah, for sure. My uncle did time with a guy who had SS bolts, but not sure if they're active or not. Definitely 100%. I saw dudes with SS bolts. When I was in the Ville, there was a dude with a Swazi right in the middle of his forehead. If I'm cutting out, I don't know I can't do much about that, you know. sometimes the reception in this part of the house just isn't that good. So hopefully it improves, and hopefully you can hear me. XDF, shout out to Hamilton. I know life in Hamilton is probably not always easy. What do I think of Trump and Carney? I don't know. I don't want to talk about it, to be honest. Yeah. So, I don't know what to say, you know? I don't know what to make of what's going on at all. You don't know who's who nowadays. Everybody's a fucking snake. I don't trust any of them, you know? I don't. And I'm not sure the direction that we're about to go. And I'm not sure. And I'm not. Where are we going? Where is this going to end up? I don't see it ending up anywhere good. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Shout out to New Brunswick. Shout out to New Brunswick. We did have some of them guys in Canadian, but it's like they're running all over the place. So, at least here in Ontario, it's not. Hamilton Barton Jail is crazy. I was there. And Penetang. Mad PK's landing in Hamilton. That shit is like an airport with so... You know, places, to be honest, it's kind of like this no matter where you go, you know? You might have a solid year where it's just pumping, and then you might have a white shirt who comes in and decides that they're just going to change everything and they're going to go straight military style. And it happens. It just depends. If you live somewhere long enough, you can see that, you know, like you're there for years, you'll watch shit like change. So, Chris Marsh, no problem. Patriot Fire, what's up? Just chilling. I don't know how well I can see that. I don't want to lean right in though. Thoughts on 100 men versus one gorilla. Now this is something I have thoughts on. Okay. So if you know me, I'm an animal person by nature. So I know all about the gorilla. The gorilla is 10 times stronger than a human male, has a bite force stronger than a lion. I still think 100 men who aren't scared. Now we have to, you know, there is nuance to this, you know, like if you throw 100 liberal male feminists, then I got the gorilla all day. But if you throw 100 trained, certified animals who aren't going to be scared and will actually charge towards the gorilla, some people being sacrificed, then I think maybe they stand a chance. But I still really think that the gorilla would fuck shit up. All it's really got to out. It's a wrap. Am I a believer in the Lord? I'm not sure yet. I'm still thinking about that. Hey, Cato, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if that's 100%. I'm not sure if they'd win. And they do have canine teeth. If you've ever seen a male gorilla open his mouth, they have big canine teeth. So I definitely think that a gorilla probably still wins. I think if you have 100 men who are prepared and could fight and are tough and big, they might stand a chance. Animal strength is next level, yo. That's what I'm saying. They can just smash you one hit. The only chance you would have is for 100 people to run in, try and overwhelm and contain. But you wouldn't be able to contain forever, you know? So, weapon free, I'm not sure you could actually hurt the gorilla. I'm not sure there's anything you could really do to hurt it. Punching it in the face is just going to piss it off. I did most of my time for like break and enters, property offense, high speed chases. Like that's what I did most of my time for. So 85% of my charges are related to break and enters. That's just what I did, you know, is what I knew how to do. I knew how to make money doing that. So that was what I did. English Mastiff has over 500 psi bite force. Gorilla has like 1,600, I think. I actually just saw a video about this the other day, which is because of this conversation we're having. Yeah, I had a high-speed chase back in the day, like a bad one, where I had basically like a demo derby with the feds. So, but that happens, you know. And when I was a young guy, I wasn't thinking straight. I was all ego, all pride, no brains, really, to be honest. And it wasn't like I was unintellectual or stupid. It was just like I wasn't thinking clearly because of shit that I had been through. I had almost like shut off all emotion and reasoning. And I just had this train of thought that everybody was against me. I was the victim. And I needed to like just do what the fuck I wanted. So that's what I did. Yeah, I remember the whole chase. I was in the chase. I'm not going to forget an experience like that. And it's a crazy experience. Government wants to build 2 new jails. Never learn. But I guess prisons get dilapidated over time, and you just kind of have to do that. If you have possession of fentanyl, you're done, brother. They take that serious. This is a fact. This is a fact. I know somebody who had a fentanyl patch and a half, maybe like a couple oxys and stuff, and he's doing 3.5 fucking years. Not now, but he was. A fentanyl patch and a half. And that's pharmaceutical grade. Go Leafs go, what's up? At what point was I like, fuck, it's over? Basically from the beginning, because it wasn't really like a high-speed chase. It was more like a smash until he stopped smashing. Yeah, honestly, if you know the Aurora, Richmond Hill area, it started basically like Yonge Street, almost at Bloomington, and finished at the Esso gas station or whatever the gas station is, the corner of Bathurst and Bloomington, in a full-on smash, boom, 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 smash, all the way up Bloomington. I was a mental case. I had zero Zero reasoning in my brain at that point in my life. My buddy got 3 different times a year and a half, got 10 years. I don't understand. Oh, he got fentanyl 3 different times in 1 year is what you're saying. Travis Goody, if someone comes in on a bad charge but keeps their mouth shut, how do other inmates usually find out what they're in for? There's ways, and your behavior will tell them everything. You know, if somebody rolls up on you and starts questioning you, and you know you have this dark secret hidden, and that motherfucker question you cares, or why would he be questioning you? You're gonna have signs. And believe me, convicts sit and do this every single day. They know those signs. My boy just got his crib raided. That's why I asked. Caught with coke and 10K. Damn. Well, hopefully he figures it out, you know? Figures out that that's not the angle in life. It just never works. It never works. You tell me one successful drug dealer who's 75 years old. Oh, wait. Who's actually able to live his life, not in a fucking tunnel. You know? Did you hear about the officer whose life was taken after the day took a man's son's life? Yeah, I think I did hear about that. Them's the breaks, you know. Sometimes consequences have actions have consequences of the non-legal variety, you know, and you have to make the decisions in your life knowing that. And just because somebody's not a gangster or somebody's not tough doesn't mean that they won't ride out on you. I know some guys, when I was doing time, a lot of the lifer guys, I'm telling you, are fucking dorks. Big time dorks. Super dorks. Guys that you would fucking bing, 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 and it would be fucking lights out. And they're all in for like serious, like, wah, 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 kind of homicides. So you just never know, you know? Was I a boxing fan? Of course I was a boxing fan. There's always old timers in for some crazy shit. I'll tell you a funny old timer story. I told the video about it back in the day, but so I was in Lindsay and there was this old dude. He was like an old guy. He's like mid 60s probably. And he was in for homicide for killing his wife. And we used to like, on that range was a young guy range, and we used to fuck around. We didn't care that this dude was some old guy who was in for homicide. We didn't care. We used to fuck with him anyways, right? And I remember one day we're sitting down and we're just chopping it up with him. And he's telling me, you know, I'm going to go to court and I'm explaining to them how she did this and she's this and she's this and she's this. And I'm like, bro, you really think it's a good idea to go to court and paint yourself as the victim when you smashed your wife's face in with a hammer and then stabbed her 25 times? I don't think that's a winning recipe, my friend. I think you should probably think about something else, like a different kind of defense. My boy caught a manslaughter charge that was a year old from OD, caught 7-year sentence. I think that's fucking bullshit. No disrespect to anybody. I don't think anybody should catch a fucking manslaughter charge because a grown man decided to take drugs. It's a fucking joke. You want to give me a drug dealing charge for some shit like that? Fine. But a fucking manslaughter charge? That's a fucking joke. Some people are just stupid. They should have never died in the first place. They have no fucking... They just do crazy shit. I met many of them. Guys that don't even think. They'll just throw whatever, boom. They don't give a fuck if it affects the people in their lives. They don't care if they die, not even one fucking little bit. Yet somebody's going to get a manslaughter charge is a joke, in my opinion. You want to punish them for something else, not that. You can kill your wife and stay a GP, but if you rape a woman, you're beaten and murdered in prison and GP. Sadly, it is true, but not every fucking dude is. Yeah, most guys don't give a fuck, honestly. They don't. And the younger and younger the generation gets, and more ruthless, the less they care about those old traditions. Like, there was old school traditions in the pen, like, yo, you shut the fuck up after 11. You don't eat on Prisoners Justice Day. You respect the elders, blah, 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 right? And as the generations get younger and younger and younger, they get more and more ruthless. All of those little shit are going out the window. So nobody gives a shit anymore, is what I mean. Nobody cares about solidarity anymore, except a small fucking amount of the population. And this is a fact. And I mean the prison population. Worst part, he don't even do the shit. He went and grabbed and broke off a piece for his girl so she wasn't sick. Yeah, that's bullshit. You know, because like it would be obvious. Sorry about this fucking stupid light. It would be obvious that in the text that this person was sick and that this person was begging them. And it's not a drug, like it's not a drug deal. It's a friend who thinks a friend who thinks he's helping a friend, but he's got a fucking mental mind. But he shouldn't get a manslaughter for that. Maybe there's a punishment, but I don't think that you should be responsible for somebody else taking drugs. If you don't give that to that person, somebody else will. A well-known Canadian lawyer once said that in some cases, just an accusation of sexual assault from a woman can be enough to convict a man, even without physical evidence. How to live with that? I think that can be true, you know, and I think even just in the court of public opinion, you know, that can be destructive to somebody's life, you know. That's a fact. So when I did my little bit, most are respectful, but most are still going to be respectful. But the ones that aren't respectful are way more disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different generation. Like when I first went to Millhaven, and then my first time going through the Ville, it was like ultimate respect. Yeah, sure, there was violence. And violence did happen. And when it did happen, it was serious. But like most of the day-to-day interactions were chill. People showed respect to the next person. Nobody's butting in lines. Nobody's talking down to the next person. It's like I've seen the most ruthless guys in provincial literally get off the provincial bus, walk into the penitentiary, and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And like totally become a nice dude, you know? How old were you when you got diagnosed with ADHD? I got diagnosed with ADHD when I was young, like probably 10. The prison system in Quebec is just as dangerous as it is anywhere else. Like, it doesn't matter if it's Quebec or BC or Manitoba or Ontario. Of course, there's levels to it, but at the end of the day, max is max, medium is medium. It's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? But prison across Canada is dangerous. Don't let people fool you because the population is small. The statistics kind of say otherwise. But if you bump that population up to whatever it is in the US, the 2 million that are locked up, I don't know, what would the statistics look like then? It's not even like a crazy high number, maybe 1,000, So it's just different. So it looks like the prison system here is much safer, which it is, but it's still dangerous. I always say the difference between the Canadian prison system and the US prison system is the mindset and the mental state of the inmates. If you're in a state that is like 3 strikes, you're out, any felony, you're looking at 5 years, 10 years, double-digit football numbers. Once you get convicted of this crime or this crime or this crime, it's life without parole. There's no chance. What do you think guys are going to act like when they're on that 3rd strike? What do you think guys that are already predisposed to being cons and gangster are going to act like when you take all hope and all semblance of life away from them? They're going to snap. They're going to fucking snap. So I don't know. That's why I believe that, like, just hammering people with time over and over and over again just creates animals. It doesn't create a rehabilitation system. It doesn't putting somebody in prison for 30 or 40 years and then throwing them back into the community with 0 skills. No, so did they take your food? That's hilarious. No. I'm a gang member. East Vancouver. Okay, cool, dude. Penn's over in the south of the States is off the. And why, like, seriously. Got the most dangerous and gangster prisons where if you go in there, you're gonna die no matter what the cause is. And if not, you could get in your by some fucking dude. The Why would you ever want to do time in the US? Seriously. Keep me away from it. Matt, have you thought of giving a talk to a school? I feel like the youth can learn a lot from your experience. I definitely would love to do that. I just don't know how to do that. What are your thoughts on the Rodney Hinton Jr. killing of the cop for the Get Back? I think actions have, and I don't promote violence. I never think violence is an answer. I don't support murder. I don't think killing people is cool. I don't. But I think when you do certain things, whether wrong or right, there's a ripple effect. And I think when you're a police officer, that's a risk that you're aware of. And I think anytime you take somebody's life, that can happen. Fathers, brothers, sons can take that shit seriously personal. And I'm not saying it's right, because I don't think it is. And I don't think violence is ever the answer. I really don't. I think a fist fight is okay. I think if you need to get some shit off your chest and you want a fist fight, that's cool. But I think once you go past that, like, what's the fuck? For what reason? Like, I don't get it. I don't think like that. I don't have a mindset of wanting to hurt other people. So I don't get it. So I can't pretend to understand or explain why. Just that some motherfuckers don't be playing. They will straight up stab you over fucking nothing. I don't want to do time anywhere. Been there, done that, gave that lifestyle up. Yes, that is a fact. Me as well. What's the difference between a remand center and a provincial jail? When you're charged and waiting for trial, where do you stay? So a remand center and a provincial jail are the same thing. You know, a correctional center and a detention center. The only thing really different is your status. And to be honest, you're much better being on the detention center side. There's some action over there. You know, you might be able to smoke a spliff every now and then, or get a cigarette every now and then, or, you know, just have a more less stagnant life. Like the correctional side in a provincial jail is the fucking worst. There's nothing worse. It's like click, 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 click. You're in a fishbowl with no action. Phil Waters, man, I've been good. How you been? Norway and Sweden prisons are better than Canada because they at least teach you skilled trade and chef job. Yeah, see, they used to do a lot of that stuff here. They used to do trades here, but they don't anymore. You can thank Stephen Harper for that because he is the guy that took that out of the federal prison system, including the incentive pay, which actually offered inmates an ability to at least walk out with some kind of a nest egg to start up. So they're not having to walk out the door and do anything criminal. At least, you know, give somebody the ability to walk out with first and last, etc. But that was gone. That was all killed by the conservatives. Like 2009 or 2010. So, Cyborg, man, I've been great. Just working a ton. That's all I really do. I appreciate that, Phil Waters. If you're in the building, go up top that like button if you haven't done it already. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, we speak on prison, we speak on addiction, we speak on life. We'll talk about whatever basically you want to talk about. And I'm on here for about 5 more minutes, guys. I'll do another live soon. It's kind of like out of the blue, so I'll do another one just now. Hey, I just had my birthday on, and I feel like it too. I'm sore as fuck. But that's life. Do inmates in Canadian federal prison work like 12 hours? No. No. You work like 5 or 6 hours a day, you know, even if you have like a job. Here in Winnipeg, we have the remand center downtown, and the closest provincial jail is a half-hour away in Headingley. So are those considered two different places? So here, all the jails are super jails. So if you're in Lindsay or Penetang or Maplehurst or the South, and you're doing remand time, and then you get sentenced to anything 2 years or less a day, they literally just go like this, walk you down the hall to a different pod, and you go live over there where there's just no action. Stagnant ass time, nothing to smoke, nothing to fucking do, just goldfish living, you know, staring at the walls while you do laps. The only positive is that you can work out and like improve yourself, which you should be doing fucking anyways if you're doing time. It's common sense. Do a lot of under the table jobs that pay in cash on Kijiji, ask for criminal record checks, or do they search your name online? I don't typically look for jobs on Kijiji, so I wouldn't know. I think that Kijiji, you could very easily get jobs off of there if you show the right intent, but I think that there's a lot of scamming nowadays, so I wouldn't even bother. Guys don't grape each other in Canadian jails. Just doesn't happen, at least in population. I can't tell you what happens in PC, but in population, doesn't happen. Anyway, to give subscriber a nods up when a live will happen, I usually miss them. I can try and you got to put your bell notification on, and if you don't have that on, put that shit on. But I'll try and because I did put up a notification yesterday, so maybe I'll try and do it like a couple days, you know. Yeah, definitely watch out for those motherfucking scams. You know, you've been out of trouble for 20 years now. I've been out of trouble. So for this year will be 7 years since I've been home. And blows my mind. It's like there was a point in my life where I thought I wouldn't make more than like 6 months, you know. But I gotta go eat. I appreciate you guys for coming in with me in the live. I love chopping it up with you. If you're here and you haven't hit that like button now, hit it when you go out. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the motherfucking channel. What the fuck are you waiting for? I think I'm allowed to curse a lot at this point in the motherfucking video. A lot of talk by conservatives that we're too soft on crime. I don't like how difficult it is to get bail for most, you know. They're not, maybe now, maybe with like Trudeau government, I can't say for sure how many people they're letting out, but I did time all the way up to 2018. And they weren't just fucking throwing people out on bail anytime they asked. I got bail twice in my whole life, and I've been arrested many times. And for property shit. Twice got bail. So, you know, mind you, like my age tells you, I was doing time in the Harper era mainly. Like that, the Harper era was, they were ruthless. At that point, nobody got parole. Basically, nobody got bail. Is being released under an undertaking usually something that happens only the first time you're arrested by police? I don't know. I can't say. Harper equals goat. I know cons don't feel that way about Harper, but I love y'all. I appreciate you coming and doing this live with me. It means the world to me, man. It really does. So I love y'all. And I'll have a video up before you know it. And we'll do another live before you know it. I appreciate you. I love you. Have a good night.